Podcast. It's your favorite cousin, Keone G, Mr. Key to the City, and we live this time, the first live of season 3. So that's why shit was a little disarray, but it's all good. Y'all know Kinfolk gonna pull it off either way. And I appreciate everybody that's been supporting, commenting, liking, sharing, whatever you've been doing to support the podcast. You all appreciate it. And thanks to everybody that voted us as a finalist for Best of Jackson 2021. We ain't got the results back yet, but we just appreciate you. We were number 2?
22.
Oh, 2022, my bad. You know, the pandemic done threw shit all off. Y'all nominated us in 2020. We brought that thing home. Hopefully we can bring it home again in 2022. But either way, we appreciate y'all. And just like with our last guests and previous guests, we're going to keep hitting you in your head with quality content. And this episode is no different. I'm super excited about this episode. I got a true firecracker right here with me. Big speaker. That's why I titled it that.
I noticed you said big speaker.
Hey, because you're going to let it be known. We're going to find out a lot about her today. She's an author, entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur. She got her hands in all kind of things. Author of a book called I Hate White America. That's a pretty bold statement right there. We're going to find out more about that and get straight to the goods on that. You probably heard her name come up during the recent mayoral campaign race. She got her hands dirty in that too. We get into all kind of stuff, man. That's why I call her the big speaker. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, without further ado, welcome to the city. My kinfolkette, Ashley Tosé. What's going on, Queen?
What's up?
I
Thank you
can't
for
call.
having me.
And make sure you speak out.
Okay, I will make sure I speak
How you doing
out.
today?
I'm doing fine. I wish the weather was not so bad, but of course, when I have to do something, this happens.
Yeah, that's how it always go. But, you know, we still pull it off either way. I'm glad you thought enough of me to stop by and give me an exclusive interview. I hate to rub it in people's face, but it is what it is. You know, I give out keys to the city, so she's deservedly due for hers, and that's why she's here today. So, Ashley, where you originally from?
I'm originally from Jackson.
Born and raised?
Born and raised.
She a true Jew.
Yeah, people always ask me, like, where are you from? And I'm like, where else would I be from? I wouldn't care that much if I was from another city, in all honesty.
Why is that?
Well, because, you know, I care a lot about where I'm from and the people who I grew up with and the condition of our city. So, not that I couldn't go somewhere else and care, but I wouldn't care more about any other place in the world than I do with Jackson.
Facts. We understand that. Now, as far as on the author side, you've been writing since you was 9.
Yes.
When did you start writing at 9?
I was writing poetry and I was
Sound like
writing movie schemes. I was writing songs. I was writing quite a bit. I still write quite a bit.
What got you into it?
Really just self-expression. I was somewhat of, not the ugly duckling, but you know how you feel at home sometimes, like you're outside.
The black sheep.
Yeah, and so I would often just write to express myself and how I would be feeling.
So I don't want to get right off into the book. You know, I want to talk about some of your other writing endeavors before you jumped into I Hate White America. Did you do anything before that? Not necessarily professionally as a book, but as far as...
Well, I started writing that book when I was 16. So, I did have other things that I was writing, but kind of the same thing: poetry, movie scripts, things like that.
You got your hands in a lot of stuff though on the entrepreneur side. What sparked that entrepreneurial spirit in you?
Well, believe it or not, I've written a commercial for Tony Alva. Yeah, so I ended up writing other things. I ended up writing outlines for radio material, commercials, writing everything but.
Right.
But as far as entrepreneurship, I never really wanted to work for anybody. I've always been really rebellious to the mundane 9 to 5, go to work, go home. You know, I saw my mom do that, and she did a really great job with providing for us. But I always wanted freedom, and the only way you're gonna truly have freedom with your day it's if you doing what you want to do to make your money.
Controlling your time. Controlling your time. What was the first venture you stepped into?
Oh wow, I have to think all the way back. Other than, oh my gosh, I don't know, cause me and my brother would do things like I've always been trying to buy
Sell
and
lemonade?
sell. Yeah, like we got
Cookies and
yeah.
buy snacks from the store and take them to the school and sell them for the low.
But then I started more so selling my ideas, doing business consulting, and just helping people to branch out and explore what they're capable of and getting paid to do that as well. Because I don't really want to be there to make every dollar that there is to be made.
Okay.
If you try to physically be there to make every dollar, you're not really a boss.
Right.
Because real bosses, they wake up to their money.
Exactly.
And
that's why I say it's the difference between being self-employed and being a business owner.
Yes.
Self-employed, you got to be there.
Gotta be
business
there.
owner, you can be on vacation, your business is still generating revenue.
But one of the things I would say that I did very early on in my 20s was insurance.
Okay.
Yes, I started doing insurance, and I still do insurance because that was one of the first big money tickets that I saw. Like, you know how much money I could make doing it, and it's legal, and it's So I
What type of insurance do you do?
I do life, I do health, I do property casualty, big whatever. I got license all the way across the board.
She's strapped up with it. So, you also have a host of digital media skills as well, right?
Yes, I have done digital marketing. I've gotten paid to do digital marketing. I'm pretty good at it. It's just very time consuming. So it's hard enough for me to run my own platforms, and unless I have a team, it's really, really hard to run mine and other people's. And in most cases, when I've taken on people's digital platforms, it was also other aspects of their business. So I can't even focus on mine anymore.
Now, your name was in the news a lot. This is a segue from digital media. Your name was in the news a lot during the mayoral race in April. I don't know if you all are familiar with it, but Ms. Tosé was providing digital marketing services for a candidate.
I was providing I was providing speech writing. I was providing pretty much anything communication based wise. Because of the demographics and making sure that the message that you want to be heard is actually portrayed to the audience.
The specific audience.
Specific demographics, yes.
Are we naming the candidate? Everybody knows it. We're not naming the candidate.
Not that particular candidate. We can speak about other candidates, but with that particular situation, there are confidentiality agreements in place that I have to respect.
You can't speak on it at all.
I can speak on certain things, I just can't say. I would prefer not to say their name. Everybody knows who they are, so it's no point in.
So if somebody brought up snatching wigs or anything like that, that would be against.
Well, that wasn't necessarily what it was, and
so break it down to me from what you can.
Okay, so what I can really talk about is what led up to certain things.
Okay.
So I was full-fledged knee deep in campaign mode, and I had a family situation, and it was an all hell broke loose type thing, and I ended up having to get stitches on my ankle, which really put me in a position that I couldn't do as much as I was doing.
Right.
But being that this is politics, there are a lot of snakes in the grass, and there was a particular snake, I'll just say Jody, and that particular snake.
Not they Jody.
Well, I'm just gonna. That's just an easy name. I'm picking another name.
We thought you were talking about Jody.
Okay.
Kobe. No.
Jane Doe.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll say Jane Doe. Jane Doe, whoever. So Jane Doe had spoken to me the previous year about being in their camp.
Okay.
For the same race.
Okay.
And it didn't work out. And so when I ended up in the other camp, that person was basically told Jane Doe basically was saying that the reason why I couldn't perform was because I was snaking them. Like I was playing in games in the Shuckways camp. I can say his name. They went and spread the rumors saying that I was going behind that person's back and playing in Shuckways camp and going to sabotage them. So that's the role that Jane Doe played. So by the time I was made aware of certain things, because again, I got the stitches. So my mother was kind of like, you gotta slow down because you need your leg, right? You can't stay on it. You gotta stay off of it. You can't be making, basically running crazy.
Right.
And so that miscommunication happened, and so that person began to try to sabotage me because they were under that impression. And so Jane Doe knew that person many years prior to me, and whatever they were saying, it stuck. And believe it or not, we haven't even cleared everything up. This podcast might clear a lot of stuff up.
We hope so.
But I never intended ever to have that situation happen or for things to escalate like that. I hate that I conducted myself in that manner despite what the other person or the other people were doing, because that's not really me. I got a
Emotions running.
street side, but if we gonna go to street side, I'm gonna be all the way street. It's not gonna be half professional, like I don't no blurred lines. And so that was crazy. But the thing was, a lot of people didn't want her working with me, and a lot of people didn't want me working with her. People like to pretend like racism and racial divides don't exist, but they do.
Oh, thanks.
They do. And we had basically took a vow that we wouldn't allow the racial lines, separations, and all of that to play a role, but in the end, it did. It played a major role.
Well, I appreciate you taking accountability for your part. Sometimes people can get us out of character, and I've been there many a time, throwing chairs, radio. But that's how it goes sometimes, especially in the world of politics. That's why I don't know if I can ever be involved. But with you doing professional work for a politician, does your personal values, like who you will vote for in a particular race, determine who you work for?
No.
You keep it completely
This
simple.
is about money.
Oh.
It's about money. Now, am I careful about making sure that I don't fuel the wrong fire? Yes. But at the end of the day, if a person is paying me to help them strategize, or paying me to help them run social media, paying me to help event coordinate, or whatever the case may be, I'm still going to do the job, because that's a reflection of me, not my personal opinions or political views.
Well, we hope that situation gets settled 100%. But charges have been dropped, right, on both sides?
Okay, yes. So the situation, yes, has been basically smoothed out on each side. But for me, of course, there was still some backlash and some get back. So there was a situation that I had that was years and years old that was snatched to the forefront. And I was basically propositioned, because this is the thing, that I had pissed some other people off.
Okay.
Right? Some other, political people, some other wealthy white people, if you want to call them. Because that's what they are. That's who runs our state. So I kind of pissed the state of Mississippi off. And on several occasions. And then not because I was doing anything wrong. It's just, people, we in 2022, but you already know. So there's a certain level of cooperation that they expect. And I'm not really that cooperative. I'm not.
You bucked the system.
Yeah, and so it was brought back to the forefront, and they basically propositioned me with probation or life in prison.
What the hell? The hell you do?
It wasn't about what I did. It was about who I upset. And so I started getting calls from things that were anything in the past, from any county, anywhere, anything. They was just calling me, and so I basically had to say, okay, well, fine.
You take probation?
I had to. I had to take it, and so I'm currently.
Oh man, well I'm glad you're still here with us and not walking the green mile, cause
oh yeah, I would have made it out.
you must have been in them streets like LeChat or Gangsta Boo or something.
No, it's not necessarily that. It's really one of those situations where you know how the state can pick something up.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter if nobody wants to be involved.
Gotcha.
You know, and with me, it arriving. I was threatened. I was told, you know, we gonna get like. You're not. So when things fell down, they fell down, and I didn't fall down per se, but you know, you can't pass the lick and not think that it's not going to be anything that comes behind it. So I'm one of those people. If that came behind it, then that's what it is.
She about that big. Now let's transition a little bit from that. Is that part of the reason why you hate white America? I know that the book was written 6 years prior to this last incident, but in the book you talk about the ideology of black on black crime and how the laws are structured to favor white America and how that's all kind of backfired in our face, or it was never meant for us to win in the first place. Like, why do you hate white America?
Well, the word hate has been used as an aggravation word. It's not a harsh way of saying it, but do I hate the system that has been created for my people? You damn right. There's no way I could love it. There's no way I could like it or kind of know. I hate it because it creates generational chaos in my community, and I have children that have to grow up in it. And the state of Mississippi is one of the prime examples of where it even originated. So I can't pretend as if things aren't as they are.
You more Malcolm X than Martin Luther?
Believe it or not, I'm neither. I disagree with certain things that they both spoke about. If I had to choose, it would be more W.E.B. Du Bois.
Okay.
But you know, a lot of people say, "Oh, well, he started NAACP. Well, he left it too, so that tells you something." But maybe a little more Marcus Garvey. But yeah, I'm not really the biggest fan of. Not that I don't know and learn, but if I had to pick, I don't follow either one of them.
I always have this argument with some of my friends because, well, if they understand my context, they understand where I'm coming from. I said segregation was the most kind of like time of renaissance or uplifting of the black community when we had to fend for ourselves. It was separate, unequal, but we were establishing civilizations of our own communities, our own bus lines, even though they had Jim Crow existing. But Martin Luther King fought so much to bring everybody together, and I understand the equality aspect of it, but do you think that, or are you pro-segregation, or you don't hate them like that, where you want?
I honestly, for one, I'm freedom of speech and place to go for everybody. I believe that if no matter whether you prefer a person or not, you treat them as they are somebody, no matter who they are. But I'm pro-segregation because, you know, what people don't understand about Martin Luther King was when he started talking about equality, he was talking about economical equality, not necessarily the physical, you know. No, if we do a service, if we provide this, if we provide that, pay us the way that you're paid. That's it. And that's where some of the lines get blurred. And when he really started pushing for that, he got killed because that financial equality was what made white people begin to follow him. Because a lot of poor white people were dealing with the same thing. Where you from this part of town? Where your folks this? Where your folks that? So we're gonna discriminate against you. You just segregated. You might have to go over there and live with the black people, but you can't go over there and live with upscale white people either. So when you look at some of the divide, it wasn't just always black and white. People forget about other communities of people who didn't come here per se because they wanted to, refugees, whatever the case might be, that were all facing that. So sometimes people get Martin Luther King caught up with just, oh, well, he was doing it for black people. He was really more for all people. I just didn't like the non-violence thing. That's where he lost me at.
I agree. Same here. We're gonna bust your head. Into the City podcast, we got Ashley Tosé here with us. Did you get any backlash from writing this book from either side?
I did. So I had black people who were they've been so mentally manipulated that the idea of saying the title of my book out loud scares them. I had an old lady tell me I wouldn't read it. I couldn't read it because, it's just. I'm like, what is? You can read all this other crap, all this fake news, all this sex books, and all this other stuff, but then the idea of the oppressor, so to speak, it just scares you. I did a major media campaign where I got a publicist and different things like that. So I made quite a few.
I bet you put your publicist through hell.
I actually fired him at one. It's so funny that you say that. Well, because he couldn't separate. He couldn't separate his personal feelings from what he assumed my book was about, because I know he didn't read it. And he was continuing to write things in a way that I didn't like. So I'm like, you know what? I wrote my own press release. I wrote some of my own back to writing. I ended up writing a bunch of my own stuff. But I just faced a lot of people who I was featured on radio shows where they were trying to get me to say all kind of racist things or double back on what I said. It's been a lot. So most of the time I don't tell people I'm a published author. They don't even know. Some people do, but it's like published author is not. You treat me as how you think I am. Because sometimes people hear, well, I'm a published author, I'm an accountant, I'm a financial advisor, which I am all of those things. It makes people kind of, treat you one way. No, I'm nobody. Now how are you going to treat me? So that's kind of how I carry myself.
That's real. Well, if my audience don't know nothing else about you, they know you're outspoken. I kind of want to jump off tangent a little bit. We got Jackson Independent Music Week starting this week. And, I was following your page and you had a live on there. I couldn't really decipher what you were talking about, but I know you were speaking about the festival. What's going on with that?
Well, basically all I was saying is this. Everybody wants to talk about bringing Jackson together and supporting one another, but if a person does something similar to you or sees something that you're doing and they say, dang, I think I could do better. Somebody could watch your podcast and say, man, I think I could do me a podcast. And they do them a podcast next week. Would you be upset about that?
No.
Okay, so that was my thing. Give everybody the space to be who and do what they want, as long as they're not stepping on your toes, per se.
I ain't following you. So but not have nobody else call another event Jackson Indie Music Week.
Well, this is the thing. Indie music, again, is just a category. That's not something that one person owns.
Agreed.
Jackson is a location.
Right.
So, I mean.
Oh, you saying if you want to do Brandon Indie Music Week
I mean, whatever. You have that option. You can do those things.
But somebody's saying you can't.
Well, no, it's not necessarily that. This is my thing. That's something called intellectual property, and then there's something I'm just copying what you see somebody do.
Right.
So if your intellectual property is not at stake, then you really shouldn't be tripping about anything. So if a person says they're gonna start a podcast because you saw one, but then they don't try to copy and exactly duplicate the exact same thing, then what are you tripping about? I'm on a podcast out of California. I've been doing it for years, but that doesn't mean that I can say, oh well, his podcast is no.
Okay.
You see, I'm here.
I see what you're saying. Well, what you think I should do somebody started a podcast called Key to the Streets or Key to the State. You think that's
Keep
too
doing
close?
what you're doing.
Don't even trip.
Right, because look at, so you got Gucci, and they got people in China making fake bags all day. You know, you got people making imitation any and everything in this world. So you can't worry about that. As long as your content is there, your audience is there, you doing what you do. You just worrying about somebody else. You know how many people I've had copy me? Like seriously, do you know how many people have stole my idea? This is a girl right now. I've even had people just flat out say, I want to be like you. Like, you know, so if I get mad, and I've gotten mad a few times, I've had party promoters steal my ideas flat out after we spoke about us doing it together.
Oh yeah.
You know, I've had people create when the people came to do the reality show.
The Bells.
Yeah, well, they was about to try to say the Jackson socialites or something like that, and I was like, oh, hold on. I've had to send almost cease and desist orders to people, like, but that was because that was my intellectual property.
Yeah.
But a lot of things, no, I've done things for people. They say they're gonna pay me, they ain't pay me nothing, and then they run off, and now they plastering their stuff everywhere. I've had people start their businesses, you know, and giving them ideas just for free. Just here, this is what you can do. This is how you can grow. So for me to get all caught up about something like that, especially if you are creative, as you say you are, it's plenty more where that came from.
I'm glad you brought up the socialite, Jackson Socialite group.
Yeah,
Jackson Socialite Club.
Yes.
Tell us more about that. When you founded it, what was the purpose of it?
So the purpose of the Jackson Socialite Club was because people were saying there was nothing to do in Jackson. And in addition to that, I was promoting my book at the time. And I was getting invited to everything. Everything. And I'm like, there's no way I can make it to all of this stuff. So I started the Jackson Socialite Club to promote those events, especially the ones I come back to. Like, I couldn't come, but I shared it. I created a platform for everybody to share, and do what they're going to do. And it's evolved. It's an actual organization now that I'm trying to, well, I'm not going to say
It's a nonprofit, right?
It is a nonprofit, but it's a social club.
Okay.
So basically, if you're not a member, you're not invited. I am going to do some non-member things, or if you're a member, you get to bring 1 or 2 people. But I want to start doing some really like exclusive events, and everybody can come. I mean,
It's for men and women.
It's for men and women. I'm working on some big sponsors because I want it to be where mostly business owners come to have a good time, to brainstorm. I want to start back doing the classes where we do talk about marketing, traditional and digital, where we talk about strategizing, project management, different things like that people need to talk about but don't understand what's wrong, what's going wrong with their business. It's because your project management skills, your time management skills, you may really do need to hire somebody. You know, you may need to redo what you're doing online, you may need to relaunch, rebrand. It all depends. So I want to create a space for that. I want the first real Black Wall Street to be here.
It'll be the second one.
Well, here it'll be the first.
I respect that. You ain't gonna burn this one down.
No, I ain't gonna burn it down.
Before we get out of here, what do you want my kinfolks to know about Ashley Tosé? Who is she? Have we heard any misconceptions? Are we perceiving her wrong based off these news articles and life sentences? And
Now you laughing.
That's a serious situation. I apologize.
But it's serious, but I'm going to show you something. And I decided to tell everybody here, because when y'all see me out, because I've been dressed in a certain type of way because of a certain embarrassment that I have. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. They even put...
Oh, Lord. She
They
done pulled
put-
out the ankle monitor.
They put a monitor on me.
Y'all see
A
that?
legit monitor on me. Okay?
Oh, man.
They want to know what Ashley Toast is doing. So if you want to know anything about Ashley Toast, know that...
Toast or Tosé?
Tosé, well...
Oh, here we go.
So, Ashley, some people know me as Ashley Toast, especially people from school. You know, they made fun of my last name. They made fun of me every day. I got to fight about my last name. So the correct pronunciation is Tosé, but a lot of people, hey, that's, you know, I'm just still known as that. So Ashley Tosé, I am married, so I actually have a legal married last name that don't nobody even know, which is still none of y'all business.
Okay.
Right, but if they want to know something about me, it's just I stand on what I believe in, and sometimes I have stood alone, and I don't mind it. I've dealt with the backlash of that. I don't mind it. People say things about me. People talk about me. Again, I don't mind it because on average, I have 15 to 20,000 people as traffic through my group. So if I'm not doing something right, somebody tell me, because I'm monitored, I'm watched, the state, the government, everybody wants to know what I'm doing, where I'm at. So
now I get the IG name.
at Jackson's Most Wanted. Yes, Jackson's Most Wanted. But I've been through a lot, and people would not even believe half of it. But you know, I still love my city. I love the state of Mississippi. Mississippi is a very beautiful place, and I don't intend on leaving. I don't intend on being ran out. I'm gonna continue to stand on what I believe in, but I am gonna take a step back and let some of my people wiggle in the wind, because you know, you try to be a safety net for people and they don't want to learn. But in the coming times, it's gonna get bad.
Oh yeah, believe that.
It's gonna get bad.
Well, I just want to say that we support you here in Key to the City, man, and we're not gonna let them people run you out like that. And they gave you a heavy duty bitch too.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to work on getting another one, but I was just like, you know, I don't want to kick up, because the believe it or not, so I checked in for the first time, because this has all been recent. Like, this is recent. Like, I just got this.
It's just amazing. I've never seen one so up close and personal.
I just got this, and so that's why I said, like, the guy, because I stayed in the house like all month. It was cold anyway. And he was like, I thought you had took it off and put it on the dog. I was like, what? He was like, you don't go anywhere. For what? Where am I going with this on my leg, right? But at the same time, I got a lot of stuff I got to do, and I can't keep trying to cover this thing up. I've been doing a great job.
Well, you don't seem like the type that is embarrassed about who they are or what they've been through. But I know you don't want the looks and the stares and the questions and then you might snap and you be in the news again.
No, I'm not gonna snap. She hit me. That's why I snapped. But
What?
anyway, yeah. So there was an actual physical. Yeah, that's why everything was kind of settled out, because I was not the aggressor. I was just responded. But I know that people, you know me, and you know, and they know what I do. But I just never expected to ever have something like this happen to me. So now, going into 2022, I'm like, it is what it is, but it's not cute. Oh my gosh.
I mean, it ain't the flyest thing. Maybe if you wear all black or something.
No, I'm just gonna wear it.
But hey, it's a part of your story, and we all got one. Everybody just ain't got no bracelet. That's the only thing. I'm serious. Everybody just ain't got no bracelet. What else can be publicly seen and talked about? So don't let that discourage you. This is your life, and you continue to live it, and you continue to stand up for what you believe in, whether they agree with it or not. That's what I would say, and that's what I support. And we behind you, Queen. You continue to fight for your right, and we're gonna support you here at the podcast. We appreciate you choosing our platform to speak your mind. You're gonna speak your mind on any platform. But how can
I haven't said this on my own platform.
So how can my kinfolks keep up with you, follow you, follow the Socialite Club, everything?
So it's the Jackson Socialite Club on Facebook. More information, website that's coming soon. You can follow me on my page, but I really don't like new friends, so.
Oh my God.
I mean,
come on now,
okay.
2022. I need you to be more.
Okay, I'm okay. Look,
that's what we're gonna work on.
Yes, okay, and you can follow me on Instagram. I don't be on there that much, but hey, follow me anyway.
Jackson's Most Wanted.
Yeah, at Jackson's Most Wanted. But I do have a Jackson Social Life Club page as well. And that's the page that I want to start, just helping people push their business. I'm all about other businesses. So if you do have any type of real questions or need help with anything when it comes to your business, feel free to reach out to me. It's not free, but feel free to reach out to me.
Y'all check out, support, join, like, share, comment, whatever you decide. This has been an outstanding episode of Key to the City podcast. I'm gonna repurpose the video, put it out on the other platforms, YouTube, IG. So y'all be looking for it later on today or tonight. And you getting out this week for end of the week? Or you boycott?
I'm not boycotting it. Like I said, I'm pressed, honestly, at this point. I can go anywhere and do the stories, but I would have liked the invitation to it, and so I'm not necessarily boycotting it, but if I go, I would go as pressed, not to really enjoy it, but to capture everybody having a good time and showcasing Jackson's talent.
Well, hopefully I see you out. Up into you. I'll be out there somewhere.
He wants me to come. I'll come with my bracelet.
Yeah. Y'all come check the bracelet out in person. Ask all your questions, you know what I'm saying? But we're going to limit your questions. I am going to be her press security, so don't be approaching her like that, all right? But yeah, we thank y'all for tuning in for another episode of Key to the City podcast. She has been our wonderful guest, Ashley Tosé, or Toast, depending on where you know her from.
Right.
And I'm your Kinfolk on the G, Mr. Key to the City. Love, peace, blessings. We'll see y'all next time. Shout out to Big Bull, my sister in the back.
Q&A on her phone?
Yeah, I ain't had any. I've been checking it.
And didn't nobody say nothing on whatever?
Nah.
I think people be scared to ask me stuff sometimes. Seriously.
Well, y'all didn't tell them y'all was taking questions.
Normally they just post. Well, I'm not used to the live platform yet. I'm getting better, but
Cause I asked a couple of days ago. I said, if you want to ask me anything, what would it be? And everybody was like,
but see, when I chop it up though and put out the clip to catch their attention, I think I'm gonna put out the clip where you put your leg up and some other stuff. But yeah, that'll be it. Peace, love, blessings. We out.